Should all of our devices be on?
Welcome to Decades, hosted by Chris Rubio. Decades is a show made up of 5 generations of people brought together to discuss topics you wouldn't normally talk about with others. The goal of the show is to learn by having some good, possibly heated discussions, without losing the simple fact that it's okay to talk to different people with different opinions other than your own.
Welcome to episode, 13 of season 2. My name is Chris Rubio, host of Decades. We've got a huge panel. Okay, we've got some oldies, we've got some news, we've got some good oldies but goodies. We've got some younger guys, some older guys. We've just got a wide array of talent on the screen right now. We've got 6 topics, and I'm going to throw in one right out of the gate. I'm going to throw in a new one just because we were talking to the judge. Let's go, guys. Starting with the judge, and you can use the one we just talked about, judge, or new one. What's the weirdest thing you have eaten that is actually tastes good?
Well, according to reports back, the weirdest thing is my favorite, the peanut butter, mayonnaise, and pickle sandwich, of course. It's my favorite.
Peanut butter, mayonnaise, and pickle sandwich. Does it matter what type of bread it's on?
Preferably white bread, and of course, dill pickles.
Dill pickles sliced, like the size of quarters, or lengthwise?
Lengthwise.
How much mayonnaise?
As much as you can get on the bread.
Are we talking mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Mayonnaise. Got to be mayonnaise.
Okay.
Peanut butter.
Okay. Chunky or creamy peanut butter?
Chunky.
That's a lot of crunch. Jesus. And why were you eating this? Were you alone in a cave at some point, or why did you stumble upon this?
We were poor. That was the last 3 things left.
All right, AC of AC Sports Live. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten or ate that actually tastes good?
I mean, after he said pickles and mayonnaise and peanut butter, I've lost my appetite. I don't know. I mean, I was just gonna say black licorice. I can't top pickles and mayonnaise.
Okay, so judges of the league, black licorice is an acquired taste. I will say that. I don't mind it, but it's not that great. Let's go, Gru.
Well, the weirdest thing I ever eaten was the first time I tried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was new to me, and it tasted weird.
What the hell?
Was that a good weird or just a weird?
Just because I never had before, that's why. I was
You never had jelly?
Yeah, I did have jelly, but not together with peanut butter.
Well, what the hell were you putting jelly on?
Like a toast or like.
Okay. Let's go, Charles Schultz.
I don't know if it would classify as weird or not, but alligator, calamari, I like those. Those are, I think some people would find those weird and interesting and not normal things, but they were surprisingly good, and I would eat them again.
Emily Stanner just said chicken strips in a vanilla milkshake. Like, are you dipping them in, or are you like cutting them in and just kind of let them saturate?
Blend it together with your Ninja.
Thank you, SG Chiller, who says, looking good, gentlemen. Thank you for noticing. Scarano, weirdest thing you've eaten that tasted good?
I mean,
Judge had it with the man. We ate mayonnaise sandwiches when we ran out of lunch meat. That's what we went to. But and I thought it was good on white bread. If Gloria, my sister's listening, she could attest to that. My mom was famous for hiding mystery stuff in meatballs. Like whatever she had, she would put in there, and you were always taking a bite. And you're like, oh, that texture was a little bit different than last week's meatballs, and there might have been eggplant in there. There might have been like leftover zucchini or whatever. So that was a little bit weird, but somehow they always tasted good.
Okay, I got you. I'm okay with that. Cruz, same question. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten or ate that tasted good?
I would probably say lengua, which is like cow tongue.
It's not like cow tongue. It is cow tongue. Good God.
Well, yeah, cow tongue. But you can put it in tacos. I think it's pretty good, but a lot of people really dislike it. But I think it's pretty good.
Well, don't you just feel like you're French kissing a cow the entire time you're eating it?
No, it's all cooked up. It's chopped up. It's not like just a piece of tongue. You chop it up into like you would for carne asada, and then you eat it. It's phenomenal. You marinate it. It's good.
It's phenomenal.
I'm out. I don't even like that word, lengua. It doesn't even sound right. Sup, 60 Ed, same question. Since you're on the screen, I might as well get you going.
Well, yeah, I thought so. Oh, hold on. I got to call this up first before. This looks pretty good.
Peanut butter and fried eggs on toast. I'm in.
I would do that. That's good. Because I was just going to go, I eat peanut butter and butter sandwiches.
And Randy Prindle, I'm assuming if your nickname's not Pringle, it has to be. It should be.
Wait,
what about you?
What did you say?
I eat peanut butter and butter sandwiches. Like peanut butter, and then you put butter on it on top of it.
Yeah, you didn't really have to go into description on that one, Sub 60. It kind of gave it away.
Just wanted to make sure you understood. I know sometimes things are slower in Idaho.
No, I got it. That was a good one. Okay. Crunchy peanut butter, creamy?
Either. Usually creamy, but I just like peanut butter, and I like peanut butter in general. So either kind.
It seems like peanut butter is just the you throw that in, that it just kills everything. I mean, it seems like it's the common denominator in all. All right, let's move. Do families eat? We're talking about food. Do families eat meals together? Why or why not? AC, I'm going to start with you because you've got a boy and a girl, but one's living at home right now. Do families eat together? Why or why not?
It's optional, man. It's a new microwave day. Everything is like, even if you cook a 4-course meal, your kids aren't going to want to eat it. They want to eat what they want to eat the day they want to eat it, unless it's Sunday dinner or your favorite Thanksgiving. People just don't have traditional American dinner. Like coming home, I just watched that movie, Iron Claw, and the dad came home and said, "Where's supper?" I mean, those days are gone. It's now every man for himself. So you can have a special dinner that's planned, but every single night, forget about it.
Well, and it gets really hard when you have 2 kids in sports. I mean, if the kid is involved in any sort of activity, your day is screwed, especially at the high school level. There's so many activities. Judge, I've been around your house many times for dinners. Do you think people are eating more at home right now or not, or with their family?
Well, just me and the missus now, so we pretty much get together every night.
You do?
Going with AC, back when we had kids, I mean, you got kids in different sports and different activities, homework, everything that's going on in the evening. Plus their social media stuff, there was no way. It was chaotic, and everybody ate when they wanted to, what they wanted to, and usually in front of the TV.
And so, for those that are new watchers right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, Judge lives right next door to me. We used to have these things we call them the triangle dinner. And Judge has this, just a normal sized kitchen, but he's got this dining room table that for some reason it's like a transformer. It extends from holds 6 to 16. And we used to have dinners. There would be 20, 25 people there, Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, every Friday night, and we're talking enough food to feed 50 people. So, Scarano, how important do you think those types of dinners, if you can't do every night with your kids and family, at least, let's say, once a week, having a bigger dinner?
I was raised that way, where pretty much every night we sat down at the dinner table, to the point where everybody had their own assigned seats and all that kind of stuff. But I just think society is so much different today. People are so much busier. Kids are busier. We didn't have travel sports when I was younger. Even like work schedules, like I worked a part-time job tonight and just came home and barely had enough time to, get myself cleaned up to be on here. So, but we do try to make time on special occasions or even when we are in the same house to try to eat together. But I think most of society probably does not eat together, sadly.
Okay, Cruz. Let's say you're raising your own family, you get married after 30. Are you going to have your kids at a normal time having dinner all the time or not?
I think like you said, with like the ages and stuff, especially like going into high school with sports and everything, they can kind of be a pain in the ass. But I mean, if they're young kids, ideally, I would love to have an entire family dinner all together. But I think as kids start getting older, I mean, I especially remember going into high school, there's nights where you don't get home till 7:30, 8:30. And by that time, parents have already eaten dinner. You just got to figure it out and make it work. So I think like people's schedules are getting a little bit busier and busier as time goes on.
Okay, Charles Schultz, you've got 2 girls, like ages 5 and 3 or something like that?
I got 3 little ones. I've got 5, 3, and 1. So
5, 3, and 1. I was close. And you guys, I mean, you still have probably pretty much good control over dinner time right now, obviously.
I think it's a phase of life thing. Right now, I'm in softball season. I'm coaching, so I don't get home at dinner time, at least not the time that we want the kids to eat. So there's a lot of times where they'll eat, and then I'll just grab something when I get home. But I think it's an intentional choice that you have to make, that you're going to sit down. The nice thing is when we moved to Worcester, we moved across the street from the in-laws. So we go over there every Friday, and we have like family dinner. The families that have the older kids that are in sports are hit or miss and not always there, but they know it's always on the schedule. So if it's raining and a game's done, they're there. If it's something where they don't have an event, that they're there. And so it's always on the calendar every Friday. So there's a good likelihood that we're going to see a decent number of the family every Friday. And I think that that's an important thing in having those schedules and just being around family, away from the phones, away from the computer screens, away from sitting in front of the TV. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but scheduling those in, I think, is valuable.
I like that. Gru, same question.
Well, my wife and I are only the ones who still, at the house, and we have different schedules, so we don't have really dinners together. And when kids were little, also different schedules, schools and sports and whatnot. We do have like a big Thanksgiving dinner either with my mom or with extended family, and like birthday dinners. But on a daily basis, no, we don't have, family dinners anymore. We never actually had.
So let's do this. Let's go real quick around the horn, and then we will do, what's it called? Then we'll go to commercial. Ideal dinner time, if you could set it every single night, what time would you want to eat dinner? Just real quick. Judge.
6 o'clock.
Scarano.
5.
Cruz.
6:45.
Jesus. Schultz.
I'm 6 o'clock as well.
Gru.
6, sorry.
AC.
Let's go 7.
Oh, late night. I guess sub 60. I got to call on you because you just keep popping it and you're like a rash.
I know. Popping up at wrong times, right? Anyway, 6 o'clock.
Okay. I'm going to go 5 o'clock because I'm hungry. So 5 o'clock for me. Aren't you supposed to not? I thought you were AC. You're not supposed to eat after 7.
I don't get home until 5:30, 6 o'clock.
This is ideal, AC. This is my game. It's like you say you work from home.
You're retired.
Yeah, you're retired like the judge.
7 o'clock because I can still watch the program and not be hungry at like 10, 30, 11. I'm an editor, man. I burn the midnight oil. I'm up late.
I know you do. All right. Okay, I like that. On that note, Sub 60, take us to commercial. We'll come back.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
1 week after launching our exclusive sneak peek, NGBN TV was live for 3 days of continuous coverage from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
NGBN TV is live from Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
The one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s was the conversation for the big game about men's mental health, In the world of athletes, celebrities, and influencers, we're on notice. But we're just getting started with new partnerships announced like the Team Nike 3-on-3 Championship and new platforms available to download the NGBN TV app. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today from your favorite streaming device or check us out at ngbn.tv. This is NGBN TV.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Welcome back to episode 13 of Decade Season 2. When you guys are commenting on X, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that good stuff, if you guys want us to throw out a different topic, more than happy to. We are on, we'll go by the seat of our pants, as they say. Let's go to the one for the judge. Arizona Supreme Court revives 1864 anti-abortion law, so judge's high school graduation year. What are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Charles Schultz. We'll come to the judge because he's obviously the judge. What are your thoughts on this anti-abortion law?
I mean, I'm against abortion as a general consensus of what my beliefs are, but I also feel concerned that one of our biggest issues in our country is constantly how to eliminate the process of new life. There's plenty of other ways to be cautious, be smart, handle yourself appropriately. And I get that there are extreme circumstances, and we always go there first thing when we talk abortion, like somebody's raped or somebody's got incest or some crazy thing like that. But those are such small percentages that they occur that I'm not against having that written in. I just think that if you choose to create a life, it's now there. We have that opportunity to take care of it, and we should protect that.
Okay, Cruz, same question. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd kind of second what Charles said. I mean, I also stand against abortion, but I think from a country perspective and a law perspective, it's definitely an interesting take. But that's kind of why the Supreme Court left it up to the state and each state to kind of make that decision moving forward. So if you're a citizen or a resident of Arizona and you feel that this is really your make or break situation, then you have the ability to move states. California's legal to abortion. There's other states. So I think that was a big reasoning within the Supreme Court decision this last year was that if you don't like it, that's fine, then you can move.
Okay, but then what's the argument of, well, I can't afford to move?
If you're living in Arizona, you can probably afford to move to a state that has abortion. Okay,
that's a pretty open-ended statement. AC Sports Live, what do you think about this?
I'm so glad you picked me after Cruz. So Cruz is the smartest guy on the panel, man. he's actually read a book in the last 2 years. I don't have any thoughts, man. On one hand, I'm against abortion. On the other hand, men shouldn't tell women what to do with their bodies. So I really don't. I'm the wrong person to ask about it. Of course, a man of faith, you should, of course, wait till you're prepared to have a child. But many, if not all, it's not all, but most babies are surprise gifts from God. You didn't plan it and you don't know what to do. But I think there are situations where there must be, where it's a case of rape or things of that nature where you can't really determine how and when or how all the stuff that the hairy stuff we don't know about. So I don't really have an opinion on this. It's something that I don't think that us nose blowers should have any say though, because a woman's body is a woman's body.
What the hell's a nose blower?
Us dudes who blowers, us dudes who don't carry babies and don't get pregnant, but we're the guys who have something to say when it comes to getting a girl pregnant. And so I don't know. It's just a sticky situation.
My body, my choice, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But does that go for vaccines as well?
Don't force it on me, man.
Yeah, I got you. Toronto.
Oh man, it's a tough topic. It historically has been and will continue to be heavily debated. I would say I'm anti-abortion. I like Cruz's point. Like, you don't like it, you have a choice. You can move and go somewhere where it is legal. So, like AC, I don't have a whole lot to say on it. But
okay, but
I think Cruz brings up a good point.
I don't understand the whole process, but like essentially, you guys tell me help me on this one. You wouldn't have to move to get an abortion, right? I mean, I'm assuming they don't have like drive-by processes, but it's not like a 200-day process either. So wouldn't you just be able to like literally just drive over, set up an appointment, and get it done?
Like a BBL in Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico, same thing. Judge, we'll come to you now. Legal counsel.
Well, I guess I'm on the periphery of everyone else here. I definitely don't think that a legislature from 1864 that consisted of only old white men, even though that's what they are now still, should be making those decisions. I don't also agree that it should result in criminal charges from the point of conception. I think if my daughter, granddaughter went out and did something stupid or was raped or whatever, I don't think the morning after pill should be an unreasonable solution to that. It's a draconian legislative piece, much like some unfortunately new legislation, but it bans everything from the moment of conception. There are no exceptions for a woman's health, for rape, for incest. It's just draconian. And even if it affects a small minority of people, if you're one of those people, then it's everything to you. And I think you can move or you can drive to get an abortion. We're talking about middle class and up. Not everybody can get on a bus and go somewhere and find a place to have an abortion or get a morning after pill.
Well, I saw that a lot of companies, I think Starbucks was one, they were saying if you're a Starbucks employee in, say, Arizona where it's illegal, they will bus you or fly you to a state that it's legal, and they'll pay for it. So I know companies are doing that, and I mean, that's a whole separate issue. That seems a little bizarre to me, but...
And under the Arizona legislation, those people would be criminally liable for aiding an abortion.
Okay, so they couldn't do that. But Judge, do you think it's okay to keep it state by state?
I think it's stupid. I think that was politically motivated by the Supreme Court. I understand their reasoning and that they go back trying to interpret the Constitution as it was written, when it was written. But I don't think we can do that with modern life, and I think it's just totally political.
Someone says, Judge agreed, let the lady choose I Am for Life, but we should not tell women what they can't and can't do. What does this remind me of when we finally allowed women to vote? Why are we still controlling our ladies? Okay, it's a decent point, but you're not giving a choice to say if there's a daughter in there. You're not giving that woman a choice. I mean, there's that way to look at it as well, because that kid does not have a choice. And that no one ever wants to talk about that or think about that, but that's another thing you kind of do have to say. And then the argument could be, well, they're not a real person yet. Well, then the argument goes back to, okay, then when are they a real person? There's not a one size fits all approach to this discussion. This topic is one, and the discussion is very important. And I can't tell a woman that she's wrong for doing what she feels that she needs to do. Then there's also the question of, okay, when is the limit? Is it 16 weeks? Is it 20 weeks? Is it 4 months? I mean, you see it after 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I mean, it's the size of a pistachio.
Under Roe versus Wade, that was set for decades and decades and decades nationwide.
So plug decades and decades.
Go ahead.
Okay, actually, in the current law, in Arizona law, there is a provision to save the life of a mother. Okay, if she's basically has a poor health, she still can have an abortion. Okay, so it's not like no one can. Okay, and also I think abortion, in my opinion, should not be used as a form of birth control. Okay, as some ladies do. And as far as, like, say, state like California permitting that kind of abortion and stuff, I think if everybody from Arizona would come to California to have abortions, and whereas California taxpayers would be paying for it, it creates a burden on California, in my opinion. And other states allow abortion that neighbor Arizona, or similar states that don't allow abortions at all.
Shout out to Gru remaining calm when he gets fired up. I like that. I can still understand you. And double shout out for printing on some info, Gru. I saw that. You held the paper up to brag a little bit. I saw that. I like that. You made a good point, Gru. Sub 60, you're on again. You're the everlasting bit. You just keep on popping up.
Well, AC shouldn't have said anything pre-show like that. He wanted to see more sub out
More
on
sub, more sub.
more sub. See, so you can blame AC for later, right? No, I gotta say, I gotta agree with the judge on this. I think it's a draconian, especially on the Arizona one. I think we need. I think 1864. I believe Arizona was still just a territory; wasn't even part of the United States yet. So we got to kind of take that into consideration. But anyway, I think you got to let the women choose what they want to do. It's a personal choice. Actually, I think it's a personal choice to some extent between the couple in some respect. So I think that's kind of where I stand with the judge.
I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with the judge and Ed, but it's important to note that they keep talking about how it's from 1864, but at the same time we have our Constitution, which is over 200 years old, which we still stand by confidently when it comes to freedom of speech and other things. So if we're going to contradict everything that's over 100 years old, we have to contradict everything at this point, because saying that just because it's old doesn't mean that it's not valuable. And I think even for Judge to say that it was old white men that were making this, so it's not important, then he shouldn't be on this panel. He's an old white guy. Jim Strong should be on this panel.
Whoa!
I mean, it's just
easy, Cruz.
He's a Rubio. He can't help it.
I'm just honest. It's important.
Guy goes AWOL for 3 weeks
Let it rain.
I said, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with them. I think they both have super valid opinions. I think that the women's ability to choose is super important, but there does need to be some little things here and there said that need to be checked a little bit.
Okay, go back to that comment by Hector, the Nicodemus. You say he's Filipino, but he's my favorite Mexican Greek. Why is it that against abortion is painted as trying to control a woman? It's about preserving a life. Not wrong. As Alex said, abortion is not a means of contraception. We should be piloting personal responsibility, i.e. contraception. Got a decent point. Judge, would you say it's not the same by no means, but should politicians decide if men can have a vasectomy? No. That's a great point, SG Trilogy. Judge, do you think there should be any limit on this at all, or no?
Of course there should be a limit. My understanding is we're talking about the Arizona law, which is
I know that. I'm bouncing to a different topic.
Okay. Of course there should be limits. There were always limits. Even in Roe versus Wade, there were limits.
Okay.
But just where you set those limits, and to make it state by state and a hodgepodge choice seems ridiculous to me. I mean,
so you think it should be the United States that should have a limit, or it should not be state by state?
It should not be state by state.
Okay. Okay.
So your rights change depending on which state you live in.
It happens every single state. I mean, there's 1,000 different laws per state. You can talk on your cell phone in Idaho. As soon as you get to Washington and cross the border, you can't.
You can't talk on your cell phone in Idaho. You need to check the law.
I do it all the time. I just tell them I know a judge. I mean, with gun laws, it's going to be impossible. Scarano, go ahead, and then we'll go to commercial.
I just got a question for Judge. So how do you feel about in vitro fertilization and stuff like that? I'm just curious.
How do I feel about it?
What's your opinion on that?
I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think if people are trying to create children for themselves, then you don't see a lot of rapists going out doing in vitro, though. So I think under the Arizona law, that's the same thing. Like Cruz was saying, whether the people make a choice, was a couple or a single, or whoever was talking about that, you don't get that choice in rape.
I was just curious to get your opinion. I wasn't sure
where
you stood on that.
Okay, I like that. Good discussion, guys. Very good, very good. Sub 60, take us to a commercial. Then we're going to come back with. You cannot use the word Rubio next on the next question, and you'll understand why. Sub 60, take us away.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Today's tip describes how to use a temporary email address. Giving away your real email address when using the internet is not always the best choice. Get your temporary email for free in just seconds. It's fully encrypted, anonymous, and unlimited and free. Its main purpose is to register on dubious websites, create and send anonymous correspondence. It is particularly useful for all situations in which your privacy is of paramount importance, i.e. forums, sweepstakes, instant messaging. Web address 10minutemail.com. This tip for NGBN TV network is brought to you by Alex on Tech.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Am I the only one that thought if Gru is using a temporary email, he's doing something shady? Like that's like when you buy a burner phone at like 7-Eleven or Circle K. Like, why do you really need a burner phone? Gru, why do you really need a little, temporary email? What are you doing? What kind of sites are you going on?
Okay, for example, you go to a new site and you want to buy stuff and they offer like a 20% coupon and you want to give them your actual email, so they give you spam. That's one of the reasons why anybody would use that temporary email.
You're getting fired up, number one. Number two, why can't you just give your normal email?
Well, if you don't want to get spam, when I get emails from that website over and over again, I need to unsubscribe. So you give a temporary one, and then it expires in 10 minutes, and then you're good to go.
All right. I still think you're doing something shady, Gru.
No.
And I'm all for it.
Guy's got a yellow sweatshirt on. He's not doing anything shady.
Yeah, I can see that. He's trying to butter me up.
It's a real yellow.
So Gru's really against spam. Yeah, Gru's spam and Charlie Sheen seem to set Gru off.
Or you could use your ultimate emails with Opus Clips and have a bunch of accounts. Get your videos cut up. Yeah.
There you go. All right, guys. Remember, you cannot say the word Rubio on this one. Give me someone that has had a great impact on you as a youth. You cannot say Rubio. Judge, you're going to go way back in time, so you're going to probably say like Moses or Jesus. Someone that had a great impact on you as a youth. We'll start with Scarano.
Well, as a young boy, I was infatuated with baseball, loved baseball, couldn't get enough baseball. So I would say probably one of my first Little League coaches, I guess I could say his name, right? Mike Dadalow. And he would always take time after practice, hit me extra grounders, take time, out of his own schedule to just kind of help me along in my passion. That and my godfather, Uncle Naz, who wasn't a relative, blood relative, who's, you had very close family friends. You called them aunts, you called them uncles, Uncle Naz. Yeah.
Did you ever tell your Little League coach how much he meant to you?
I think later on, as I got to be a young adult, I would run into him. Now, ironically, like if you ever coach Little League, your coach can possibly be like my older brother, John, was my coach one year. So he could be 7, 8, 9 years older than you. So when we got older, it was, anytime I would see him in public, I would remind him that he was my Little League coach, which made him feel, much older than he really was. But I think I kind of dropped some hints. I don't know if I came out and hugged him and said, "Oh my gosh, you made such a difference,"
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we now know that Hector Nicodemus is sub-60s burner email because he says my father McAndrew. So obviously,
I just wanted to make sure you saw. I just wanted to make sure you saw that. So because you didn't say anybody could say me. They just said you can't say Rubio.
I'm assuming Hector is on the East Coast right now and he's been drinking for quite some time.
That could be. But yeah, he's on the East Coast.
All right, Judge, someone from way back when you were young.
Well, I remember a friend of mine that went out and told everybody the British were coming.
That's pretty good one, Judge.
That's for you, Rubio.
Thank you.
Actually,
Rubio.
Going along the same vein as Jim, it was a high school football coach, actually, that I was the littlest guy on the football team. He made me a starter, played me for my last 2 years of high school, and I got a most inspirational player award, even though I was the smallest player. And he was constantly building me up in front of other people when I wasn't that secure in myself, unlike now. And he just made difference in my life. He made me think I could do whatever I wanted, regardless of size. And I think that really vaulted me into a different phase of my life.
And how small were you playing varsity football?
So small.
Each year, senior year, I was 5'4" and 140.
5'4", 140.
Was your left leg, Rubio? I understand that.
I'm thinking that was fourth grade for me, probably.
No, that was pre-K for you.
and Judge, he made you the starter. You went to a small high school. Wasn't there like 11 boys in the school?
No, everybody went out for football in those days.
All 15 of them.
So yeah, all 11 of them. Okay.
50 guys on it.
ABC Sports Live coming live tonight at, what was it, 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so who inspired you as a youth?
Papa Don Norford, our football coach / track coach, took me to the bleachers when I was getting in trouble, sat me down, said, a young black kid in Long Beach, you have a chance to get out of here, kid, if you get your act together. Not only did he show me how to run, but he showed me how to walk. So I really appreciate that man for shooting me straight when I thought that I had it all under control, and I didn't. So he was very influential, and I still stop by his house and let him know every time I see him.
I like that. I like that a lot. Gru?
Well, my first soccer World Cup I ever watched was 1982. I was 11. It was a great Brazilian team at the time. They didn't win any medals, but they played really good. And it was a player, his nickname was Socrates. He was called Dr. Socrates, and he played so great. And basically, from that point on, I follow soccer, and, he was my idol as a soccer player back in those days.
I like that. Charles Schultz.
Mine was my high school baseball coach. He taught me how to play the game the right way, how to be a man, how to handle myself while I was going through the phase where my parents didn't know shit and I was going to be rebellious. And, as a young man, you fight back and you don't want to listen. And as wise as my parents are, they were second at that point in my life. And luckily for me, I found a guy who took me under his wing and taught me how to go about my business the right way and turned me into an actual ball player instead of a punk kid. So
I like that. Have you told him that?
I told him before he passed. He actually died of cancer several years ago now. It's probably been a little over a decade. But his when he passed, it was like 5 hours of people going through the gymnasium at the high school. Straight, like line out the door. Like he was that type of guy. He had everybody in the community wanting to be better, wanting to do their best. And, that's a lot of the reason why I try to do what I do is because he showed me that there's always another level that you can go to. And I want to help other people see that and inspire them to do that. And that's why I coach. And, he kind of had that effect on me that's lasted long beyond his coaching days with me and on this earth.
A lot of coaches and sports related content here. That seems to be a running theme. Cruz.
I would have to say there's two. One would be my coach in high school, Leo Bose. He was our equipment manager, but he kind of kept us in check. Always was, come over and slap me up on the head if my hands were in my pocket, and he would often like kick me in the balls, and he would say, "Well, if you didn't have your hands in your pockets, you could defend yourself, but now you have your hands in your pockets." That was a big one. And then the other one is, and I didn't really get to ever talk to him too much because I was super young, but I always really looked up to him just because he was one of your guys. It was Christian Yount.
Oh yeah.
I grew up always going to lessons with him. He would always be there. And to me, he was just like the shit. Like, I always looked up to him. He went on to be a long snapper at UCLA, and at the time, UCLA was one of my dream schools. And just being able to get to work with a guy like that and see how his work ethic was, how hard he trained, it was really inspirational. I think I took a lot of his guidance going in throughout my high school and college career.
That's a good one. Two good ones. Sub 60, I guess.
Oh, you gotta want to hear these. No, actually, one was Coach Kozik. Again, another coach. He was emeritus coach that was at Gonzaga High School. Coached football back in the day, but when I was there, he was like emeritus AD. He was about maybe inch or two taller than me, but he was the one who actually got me into wrestling. He came up to me one day as I was a sophomore before wrestling started, and basically said in his old grumbly voice, "You should go out for wrestling. You got the build for it." And then he basically that got me in there, and I spent 3 years wrestling, and for those who have wrestled, understand it teaches you a lot of life lessons. And then my other one, I got another one that I had in college, Coach Martelli, who was at St. Joe's as an assistant and then at Michigan as an assistant. He kind of showed me how to do things the right way and just kind of have fun while doing it.
Okay, go back to the original coach. He was an inch or two taller than you. Was he a sub 60?
No. He wasn't a sub 60. He was like 5 foot, let's say.
So
he was a par 60.
Yeah, he was a par 60. But I will say this: he was as tough as they come. There was nobody. Everybody respected a good coach. So.
Okay, am I the only one now? Because I
say it
know
again, AC. Say it again, AC.
It's a par 60.
He's a par 60. To East Coast, Hector, sub 60 was just typing something. East Coast, yes. Drinking, no. To understated, Ed was an inspiration. Wrestling is the hardest sport. And in terms of life lessons, there is no greater sport. Your goal is to impose your will upon your opponent. When you lose, it means that despite your greatest efforts, your opponent has imposed his will upon you and put you into painful, vulnerable positions. Wrestlers train so hard, deny themselves of the comfort and pleasures that others take for granted, such as eating or taking. I don't know what's going to go there. That could be anything. Sub 60 on camera, so he can't type right now.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the wrestling thing.
Yes.
2 wrestlers on the panel right now, and they're both sub 65. I feel like we need to set up a match, pay-per-view of.
There we go, pay-per-view. Yeah,
like this would be phenomenal.
We could raise money for like Jim's memorial or something.
We got to do so. I mean, I would pay big money for the Judge. How long would it take?
I would pay so much money to see that.
Judge, how long would it take for you to get into wrestling shape?
I'm there now, baby.
So
I was in phenomenal shape.
Let's bring it on.
Whoa.
Here you go.
Whoa.
Somebody wants us to go into the octagon.
Can we get R60 to be the ref?
Yeah, we AC will host because he's got the smoothest voice. I will, of course, be the color commentator because I'll be coming in with the zingers.
No, you got to be the referee. You got to be the guy.
R60's got to be the ref.
No, I'm not being the ref. I don't want to be in the ring with you two. You know how little people scare me. I don't like that. They're like dogs. Anything like a little dog.
I thought you just said earlier tonight before the show that you love all sub 60s, but they scare you. You love them, but
I'm scared of them. It's like corgis.
Okay.
I don't trust them. It's like little tiny dogs and people, scary redheads, clowns. Those are my 3.
No, Cindy, we don't.
Ronald McDonald is.
We don't need a 4.
Yeah.
That's great. We don't need a state champion. We don't need a state champion. No, Judge and I are old.
Yeah.
We know, but that's what people want to see, man. And Cindy Sanders is now oldest of the 4-8 state champion. Okay, that's very impressive.
Yeah, but we don't need a 4. And he's probably young and probably can.
No. This is not about Cindy's kid. We want you two battling it out. We could sell shirts.
We can sell tickets.
You could sell sombreros.
It could be paid, like you said, pay-per-view. Only $29.99.
My money's on Judge.
And I would pay for that.
But I'm sorry, Jim. What did you just say?
I said my money's on Judge.
All right, brother from another mother. I see how that rolls.
Oh, this is I'm sorry, sub 60, but
gambler.
But sub 60s, you're like super flexible, right?
Oh no. No.
He doesn't need to be
super flexible.
You can't touch your toes.
Could you do 20 push-ups right now?
I could probably. Yeah. Are you asking me?
I could probably.
No, I can do probably 100 straight.
He's only pushing up a damn inch.
What's that?
You're only pushing up an inch.
No, this is who we need. Exactly. Facebook user, whoever you are. Yes. Brad Williams needs to be play by.
He's
the comedian.
The
comedian.
Oh, you guys have narrowed that down.
Well, he's a little comedian.
You remember? I told you he's the picture I have.
The picture with.
The picture I have with. Right.
No, he's not going to be announcing it because I could see him jumping in to save your ass. You guys.
All right. Trilogy's on the hashtag. Thank you, SG.
No, SC Trilogy, he's been drinking now too. You can't be Team Sub 60 on this.
Yeah. Why can't we have Team Sub 60?
Because that's great. You saw that movie Wolf of Wall Street, that one when they were bringing in the Sub 60s. He says you can't. They come together. Like you and Brad will form a united. It'll be like the Marvel.
I don't know, man. I mean, how many Sub 60s are watching tonight? None.
I don't. How do you know that?
You're the only one I know.
It's a group.
What's that?
If you're a sub 60 watching, please let us know that you're a sub 60. I guess that's the way to find out.
Put the bat light on. The bat light in the sky. This the hashtag 60.
Exactly. Hashtag sub 60.
Like a Batman light.
Instead of and then for the 5-footers, it's hashtag par 60. We got
to work on this. Like there's no doubt.
All right. Well, we've totally digressed.
Okay, now go to commercial. We'll come back. You got me all fired up now.
Wait till you see what I'm going to play now for your commercial.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV.
Are we going to lock
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more. Streaming TV for men, created by men.
But why?
Why are we a network that inspires,
educates, entertains, celebrates, and supports
men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, simply to save men's lives?
There is an epidemic in our community,
and it's taking men from us.
I'm talking about mental health and suicide.
But we have an answer, and it's streaming, live shows, sports, concerts, and more.
In a real way for men to lock shields.
We can't wait to launch this TV network for you and with you.
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 Join our movement at ngbn.tv, coming January 2024.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Take it away, Rubio.
Take the mute off, Rubio.
You're muted.
60's got me muted.
Yeah.
No, well, you were actually unmuted when we went to commercial. I could hear you drinking as we went to commercials. I had to mute you.
That wasn't me.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
You
No,
said
it was
lock
both.
shields.
It
You
was.
said we're gonna lock shields.
Yeah, it was
No,
actually.
it was me.
It was
You got
actually.
locked.
Oh, did we lock shields?
We locked shields. Hey, supposedly I have a shield on its way.
I'm locking shields.
What's that on block?
It's going to be a regular size shield for him.
It's Craig Hannum.
Yeah, Greg, it's something you have to do in the settings with Facebook.
All right, guys, this is going to be a tasty one. If you had to start dating again, how would you do it? If you had to start dating again, how would you do it? We're going to start with Charles Schultz because he looks pretty disgusted. I just saw him shake his head.
I wouldn't. It's not worth the effort at this point. I got 3 little kids. I'm like, no, I'm good. See ya. I don't have any time for that. I guess if it all came down to it and the world was like, I needed to figure out how to find somebody to connect with, maybe Bumble, because it's all on them, and all I got to do is throw it out there, and if they don't respond, it's no big deal. Either that or I'm going old school, and I'm just going to walk up to everybody who doesn't have a wedding ring on and be like, hey, what are you doing later?
What's Bumble?
It's like Tinder.
It's like Tinder, but the girl has they send the first message. I can't send a message until they start the conversation.
She would think that you're hot. She's got to initiate.
Yep. So that way I'm not some weird creeper. They can be the creeper. I'll just respond.
Oh, okay. Scarano.
I'm still trying to figure out how all the young guys know about all the dating sites. I don't understand that, but Bumble. All right. Wow. If I had to date, how would I do it? I think I would take more of a backseat approach and hope and pray that something came my way. I don't think I would go out like on an aggressive pursuing type mission. I think I would just do what I normally do and the things I like to do and hope somebody of the opposite sex would be in those environments and approach me.
Okay, so you're out doing your little canoe thing.
It's a kayak. Kayak.
Did we establish the difference between a kayak and a canoe?
We did, and we also know where Charles lives. It's Worcester.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Rubio say it.
1 out of 10.
Rubio say it.
Worcester.
Oh.
Rooster.
Is that it?
Worcester. Yeah.
Worcester.
Hey, there it is. close.
Now, hold on one time for the people that did watch that show. What's the difference between a canoe and a kayak? Because the judge has a canoe in his backyard. It's 20 yards away from me. And the damn thing's the size of a Suburban, if not bigger.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you're the expert.
Well, first of all, a canoe is always a sit-in. Like you have a hole and you sit in the canoe, and your paddle is certainly different. Like it's two hands, but it's shorter, and you gotta row on one side and then row on the other, and it's very easy to tip a canoe.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah. Kayak's much more stable. You have sit on top kayaks, you have sit in kayaks, and the paddle is more. Yeah.
SC Trilogy said he would go to the bingo hall and find him an adorable old woman. That's fantastic. I met my first wife, aka Satan's mistress, at a church function, and she turned out to be psycho. At church, man, dating app, scary stuff, dude. That is too good. All right. AC, you look pretty disgusted. If you had to start dating again, how would you do it?
When I saw this question, I was like, no way I'm touching this. So you're assuming something happened to my wife, because if I don't say we do it the same way we did it the first time, why are you going to change it? I'm just thinking, like, what kind of question is this? I'm not going to touch it. But if I had to touch it, I'm waiting for AI to give me the perfect situation. If anything ever happened to my wife, I'm marrying my golf clubs. I'm not trying again. This is too much work, too much. I'm in a place now I can go to the gym. She says, cool. You know how hard it was to get to that place where you can go places and her not care? I mean, and try to train someone else on that simple fact that I'm going to work out, I'm going here. There's no question. I love where I'm at. I don't want to go again. I don't want to try out. That's too much work, man. I'll give me an AI woman with the perfect personality for my wit, my jokes, my personality. I'm waiting for the international AI, whatever you want to call it, to hook it up. But other than that, I'm marrying my golf clubs and I'm going to be single.
Okay, number one, I don't even want to know how you're going to do sexually with your golf clubs, because that's going to be just wild. Number two, did anyone else get the cringe moment when AC said he'd been training his wife? I can't wait for her to hear that part and just beat the hell out of you. That's coming. I heard that, and that was a Rubio cringe moment, AC. You took one from me. I like that. Gru, but I do understand what you're saying.
Well, I would definitely go on Bumble and allow her to pick me.
Wait, did you know about Bumble too?
Yeah.
That's what the fake emails are for.
Yeah, there it is, AC. There it is. I'm Alex on Tech at Bumble.com. Hold on, let me go buy a new phone from Circle K. I got to buy a new burner.
I still got it, baby.
All right, Judge.
Does hookers and blow count as dating?
I think it could in your own world.
Okay.
Yes.
Coming in hot.
Seriously, they say you're supposed to meet people like with what you do, whether it's church or hobbies or whatever. So I'd probably go the old-fashioned way and meet somebody in a bar.
Okay, I got you. In a bar.
Yeah, wait, you're not going to make her a mayonnaise and peanut butter and pickle sandwich or whatever?
Not in the first
Wine and diner with a mayonnaise.
Yeah, you
pickle.
don't want to come out too hot showing her that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a breakfast sandwich, right?
Yeah. Here's the question, Rubes. How young do you go if you go back in the market? Do you go 20 years younger or close to your age?
Oh, so you're asking, okay, so the judge who's 112 years old, how young could he go to date someone? I think anything more than a decade, you're playing with fire.
Plug, decades.
Oh, yeah. Anything more than a decade.
I've got no within a decade.
Cruz, if you were going to start dating again, how would you do it?
I mean, I'm still really young, so this is a tough question.
Yeah.
Definitely not what the judge said. Going to a bar. If you're gonna meet the right girl, you're not gonna meet her at a bar downtown on a Thursday or Friday night.
I met my wife in a bar.
Hey, how many years have you been dating her or married to her?
Over a decade.
These times have changed, brother. It is not the same as it used to be. I think someone said church. I think that's a really good idea. I think if you're a religious person, I mean, I'm a religious person, I think that's a really good idea. You're kind of matching on those core values.
I'm a pastor. These women are not, like you said, not the same.
But definitely, I don't think I would try and find my wife downtown.
School is the best place to.
We'll go to an uptown bar.
It's not the same.
Cruz is saying he's going to go to the house of Mr. Jesus to find a lady, and AC who is a pastor, by the way, says code red.
Code red. Don't go in the house of God trying to find your wife. God will give you your wife. Just do your stuff every single day. Go to work. Go to school, and someone's going to walk up to you and say, "Hey, is that an Apple Watch? I have an Apple Watch too." Oh, what a coincidence. Oh, you like Apple products? I heard from Alex on Tech that Apple products are the devil. Yeah. And you have your wife. That's how it happens.
Are you listening, Cruz?
Yeah,
don't
noted.
look. You'll
I don't
find.
see you taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down.
I met my wife on a
Put
blind
it
date.
in your Apple Watch.
I met my wife on a blind date. Was not looking for her, and God said, "Oh, this is everything on your checklist."
And that's the follow-up question. Where'd everyone meet their significant other?
Yeah. Okay. So AC, we got a minute and a half, 2 minutes basically. AC, 8. Scarano,
We got set up, but we were in a bar.
bar. Okay. Judge.
Law school 40 years ago.
Okay. Law school. Cruz.
Lunch tables.
Oh, you were at least at the popular lunch table?
Of course, I was at the football lunch table. I moved away to go hang out with her because I.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Gru.
Farmers market.
You're a farmer's market guy.
Buying trail mix.
Buying some fresh honey. And some lavender.
I can't stand walnuts. Me either.
Charles Schultz.
Playing cornhole in a country bar.
Are you any good?
Oh, never lost.
Never lost.
No,
Come on, Charles. Let's go.
Come on, man. You know me. I don't lose.
Yo, after Judge and sub 60 wrestle, we'll play cornhole.
There we go.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like I could beat him. I'm really good. Sub 60?
He gonna do your long snap. He gonna long snap your cornhole.
I could. Sub 60 at work?
At work, yeah.
Okay. Guys, this was a phenomenal show. Who's the winner, Gru? Or Sub 60?
It is actually a tie between AC and Cruz.
Oh.
AC for his par 60. Cruz for his coming in hot on the whole historical, comparing the 1864 anti-abortion to the Constitution, both old documents that we follow.
Perfect. Thank you to everyone that watched on YouTube, LinkedIn, what do we got? Facebook, on Twitter, all those good things. Make sure you have conversations with people that you normally wouldn't have conversations. Agree to disagree. And don't forget, we've got AC Sports Live coming on at 9 p.m. Pacific time. Do not forget to watch that. And also, we've got the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Scarano, you want to close us out?
I just want to say, can you let them know about NGBN TV being a continuous stream for 100 and how many hours?
158 hours. 158 hours. NGBN.TV is streaming straight right now from Monday all the way through now. So this show is going to be on a couple more times after the live show, so you can catch it. Tell everyone download the Roku app. On that note, Sub 60, we're out.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching Decades on the NGBN.TV network. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to